My name is Mollie Sommer. Welcome to my podcast. I believe that we are all inherently seeking to express ourselves, and that our voice is the connector that brings us all together. This podcast is my way of sharing that power of connection, bringing us together to learn, grow, laugh, and be the best versions of ourselves. Each week, I will share my stories and lessons around spirituality, energy, manifestation, money, mindset, and of course, business. Along the way, there will also be some amazing guests to uplift and inspire you to live your life full out, to embrace your gifts, and to celebrate your uniqueness, reminding you that you are never alone. So sit back, bring your hands and feet inside the car, and enjoy the ride. Welcome to the show. Hello, and welcome to this week's Mollie Sommer Show. This week, I want to talk to you about what happens when we pass the 21st day of the year. What happens to our goals when maybe they're not becoming or working out the way we thought they would. Today, we're going to talk about how you can get on track, how you can maintain your momentum, and how you can achieve the outcome that you want. So, as always, bring your hands and feet inside the car and enjoy the ride. Well, first of all, congratulations. You made it past the first 21 days of the year. And why do I use the 21 days as a marker? This day is generally when the gyms start clearing out, because willpower alone is not enough to keep people dedicated and motivated towards their goals, towards their resolutions that most of us set at New Year's. So today I wanted to talk to you and share with you some ways that you can get back on track so that you can achieve what it is you want to achieve this year. Before we get started, I wanted to share a story. I used to train for Tough Mudders every year. And every year at Christmas, I would allow myself 2 weeks of indulgence. Okay, I'm going to be honest, it was more like 3 weeks. And so on the first of the year, I would get back on the treadmill, I would start training again, so that by the time June rolled around, I was strong and ready, and Tough Mudder was effortless. But what happened was I would set that goal, and then in June, I would achieve that goal. And instead of celebrating, I would just blow past that goal. I would look for the next mountain. I would never celebrate. I would never continue the training because it was hard. And I would perpetually repeat this cycle every year. And it got to the point where it was no longer enjoyable. So I sat back and I started thinking about what it was that I wanted out of this process. And what it was, I found, wasn't the goal. It was actually the enjoyment of the journey to get to the goal, and what the whole process meant to me. You see, it wasn't about the Tough Mudder. The Tough Mudder was fun. The Tough Mudder was hard. The Tough Mudder was cold. But it was really about living a life of health, living a life where I was embodying and living my strongest and healthiest self. And when I took the goal away and started living in alignment with my desire of being healthy, it was easy to get to the gym. It was easy to make good food choices. It's not necessarily about the goal. It's not necessarily about the outcome. It's about enjoying the ride. This is why I say bring your hands and feet inside of the car and enjoy the ride. Because it's not about where we're going. It's about how we get there and having fun along the way. So let's look at how you can have fun along the way. And inevitably, there are going to be times along our journey where we get lost. It feels like life is throwing stuff at us at a rate we can't handle. We get overwhelmed, we get frustrated, we get angry, and we lose sight of where we are and where we're going. This is normal. It may seem like you can't overcome it. It may seem that it's going to last forever. But my friend, it's not. You can get through it. One of my favorite sayings is that God doesn't give you more than you can handle. And most of us, all of us, are stronger than we give ourselves credit for. The other day when I was at the gym, I was listening to an audiobook by Bob Proctor, and he was talking about this exact situation. So I thought I would share some of his wisdom. He breaks it down in saying, when something isn't working, you have to ask yourself 2 questions. Number 1 is progress truly not being made toward the goal or outcome? Maybe you're not taking any action, or maybe you're even moving away from the goal. And number 2, you're moving towards your goal, but maybe you're not getting there in the time that you perceive is the right time. And so you have to look at where you're at. One is showing you this really isn't working, and the other is showing you this just isn't working yet. In business, we know that most small businesses fail, and they fail because they get to that point where it doesn't seem to be working. And instead of continuing to be persistent, people quit right before that moment of breakthrough. In healing, we talk about this as the shrinking, the pain before the expansion. In manifestation, right before you manifest something, the universe is going to show you the shit is going to hit the fan. And so many of us see this outside of ourselves, and instead of moving through it, instead of diving into it, we get out. We let go, we move away, we quit. And so ask yourself, is this really not working? Am I moving away from my goal? Or is it just that maybe the timeline that I had set for myself isn't working? And it's not that the goal, or it's not that I'm not working towards my goal, it's just that the goal hasn't materialized yet, manifested yet. So to find out which one it is, write your goal out in a clear and concise sentence. And then under your goal, under your sentence, write out all of the actions you're taking towards that goal. Write out all of the beliefs that you have towards that goal, all of the thoughts, all of the experiences, all of the creation that you're putting into bringing that goal into life. Fill up a page. Just let yourself release all of that knowledge, all of that truth out of your body, out of your mind. And then really look at what you've come up with. Ask yourself, is this step really getting me towards my goal? Is this step am I really implementing action towards this goal? Am I really taking full responsibility, radical responsibility for myself moving towards this goal? Am I giving 100% towards this goal? This can be difficult. You have to get really truthful with yourself and ask yourself really honestly, am I doing everything that I can towards this goal? Or am I sabotaging myself? Am I allowing my negative thoughts, my inner blocks, to stop me from achieving this goal? Am I listening to other people and what their opinions are of this goal? Am I giving up on myself? Am I honoring myself towards achieving this goal? For me, I've come up against resistance in something in my life right now, in my business. And when I did this process, I realized to myself, maybe I haven't fully explored all the avenues that are available for me. And as soon as I saw that, I was able to take some new steps and move past what felt like a block. Most of our blocks are internal. There's external blocks and internal blocks. External blocks are things like resources, things like you're waiting for somebody else to complete a task that needs to be done before you take action. All of those things that are outside of your control. But the inner blocks, those are your beliefs, those are your thoughts. That's your little gremlin telling you that what you're doing isn't enough. It's the assumptions and the stories. When somebody asks you, have you done everything? And you say, yeah, but, or you think you can't do it because something in the past has shown you that you can't do it, or something has gotten in the way and you're repeating past behaviors. These are all internal blocks. These are all illusions of blocks. And it's when we are able and willing to dive into these blocks that we can come out the other side. That's where the real growth is. That's where the exciting work is. So think about your goals. What is it that you want to achieve this year? What is that you want to work towards this year? Ask yourself, do I identify with being the person that completes this task? For example, if you want to run a Tough Mudder, do I consider myself an active person? Do I consider myself an athlete? Or do I identify as someone who would rather sit on the couch or watch television or drink a bottle of wine a night? Or maybe you're a smoker and you want to not be a smoker this year. Do you identify still as being a smoker? Or can you imagine yourself and what that would be like to be a non-smoker? When we get down to the core of achieving the life that we want, it comes down to our identity and our beliefs. And beliefs are thoughts that are repeated over and over and over again, ingrained in us, kind of like walking down a path. Eventually, that path is going to be worn. It's going to be easy. Those are our beliefs. And so when you are trying to change your belief, it's about creating a new path. And just like going through the forest, you can pick a trail that hasn't been walked on, and it might be difficult, but it'll get you to a whole new place. Or you can just step off your path, even one step, and you'll still get to a whole new place. It only takes 1 degree of change in order to get you to a completely different place. I always love the analogy of a ship. If you are in a ship, lovely sailboat heading across the ocean, and your bearing is, I don't know, 85 degrees north. I don't even know if that's a real bearing. But you change that bearing by 1 degree, 86. You are going to get off course. Now that can be intentional or it can be by accident. But as you head through the year, where do you want to be next year? Change doesn't happen fast. If you want to heal, if you want to grow, it's not going to take a month. Let it take a year. Really slow down the process. I always say that we're in this as a marathon. We're not in this as a sprint, because it's a process of being and becoming and growing and changing and doing it all over again, so that you embody who you want to be and become that person over and over and over again. Because there is no goal in life. There is no finish line in life. Inevitably, there will be times when it feels like life isn't working for you. But you are always exactly where you're meant to be. Because even in those times of hardship, those are the juiciest parts of your story. Those are the times of the biggest growth. It's all about how you see it and what you believe of yourself. So ask yourself the question, do I truly believe that I am the person I want to be in December? And if not, what does that person believe of themselves? If you want to be an athlete and you're sitting on the couch at home and you ask yourself, is this really what an athlete would do? What would be the answer? If you want to be a successful entrepreneur and instead of going to that networking group, you're doing something else, busying yourself, is this what a successful entrepreneur will do? What is a successful entrepreneur to you? Really get down to the meat and the grease of it. Write it out so that you can look at it. And then build your daily habits, small little steps, so that over time, they compound. One of my favorite things to do is to get my calendar out and put little stars on it. Because I'm a visual joy maker. And I love seeing at the end of a month my calendar full of stars, because I know I took the step that I wanted to take that day. And so if you enjoy this too, I actually have a little freebie for you. I've made a habit tracker that you can print out. You can find it at molliesommer.com and print it out, put it on your wall. Go to the dollar store, get the most ridiculous, most joyous stickers. I love unicorns and diamonds. And put it on your wall. Commit to taking action for one habit. And after 30 days, look at that piece of paper, look at that printout and see all of your stars, see all of your unicorns. And if you don't smile, if you don't feel joyful, if you don't feel successful, my friend, I think that's impossible. So again, you can get that at molliesommer.com. It's a little pop-up and you can download that and enjoy it. The path to your goals shouldn't be unfulfilling. It shouldn't be hard. It should be a flow. It should be a daily movement in the direction of your desires. So, my beautiful friends, I hope you enjoyed today's Mollie Sommer Show. Head over to molliesommer.com for that freebie. And as always, you are capable. You are amazing. You are so much more than you think you are. Have a beautiful day, my friends. We'll see you next time.